Welcome to Reread. I'm going to talk about two short stories today, both of them from Star Wars Gamer. The first one is from Star Wars Gamer number 10. It's called Handoff by Timothy Zahn. Again, Mara Jade, still on the run from Isard. And I'm guessing this happens, it doesn't matter if this happens before or after Tales, because it seems like they're both individual instances. You know, they don't relate to one another. But I'll tell you about the contradiction in a minute. Mara Jade is on this planet. She sees a young man who's looking kind of nervous, and the Empire's giving him a hard time, and she sees something's not right. So she kind of saves him from getting captured by the Empire, finds out the kid was called in 2 weeks ago to come in for a job, but no one met him at the rendezvous point, and he doesn't have any food or any place to stay. He's been kind of scavenging, and it looks like someone planted information on him so the Empire would arrest him. And so she's thinking, okay, this is a big setup here. And she goes to the local authority, the Imperial authority, Marcos, who was the person I think this young man was supposed to meet. And by the way, the young man is good at slicing into computers, which is how Mara Jade finds a bunch of information, because he can easily slice into computers. What's his name? It's a young Ghent. Chronologically, this is the first appearance of Ghent. Ghent is a great character from Timothy Zahn, highly underutilized. After the original Thrawn trilogy, he is basically ignored throughout the rest of the expanded universe. I mean, there's a few mentions here and there with him, but, you know, like I said, a very interesting character that didn't get as much love. Anyway, so this is young Ghent meeting Mara Jade for the first time, and they talk about Talon Card as hiring people. They kind of mention that later on, and Card will come into play at the end of the story. But she talks to Marcos about, hey, I see what's going on. You Imperials, you didn't want to pay this slicer. So what you did is you brought him here, you know, rattled him up by, you know, making him live on his own, making him feel desperate, and make him look like a criminal, a homeless criminal. And then you were going to set him up to arrest him and say, well, we'll drop these charges if you help us slice this, you know, computer. And she goes, I know what's going on. This is all set up to get him to work for free. Well, guess what? I'm his agent now, and I'm going to, you know, take a 20% cut. He's like, 20? Why not? Why not 10? She went, because I'm his guardian too, because I want to make sure nothing happens to him. You know, Mara Jade has some interest now, and she thinks she's outsmarted this Imperial. And he goes, very well. And so he agrees to her price, you know, even though it's way higher than what he would have originally paid. Well, then later on, Marcos has her followed back to her wherever she's staying, which Mara Jade goes, bad idea. And she shakes off her tail, basically traps Marcos again, and goes, don't follow me again. We have an agreement. Now be there with the money, and I'll be there with the slicer. And then she discovers something else. Wait a minute, Marcos. She says, maybe you're an Imperial, is what she says, and you were hired to do the slicing job, and you couldn't do it. So that's why you're hiring someone, right? And basically he tells her, well, wrong, I'm a rebel agent, and we're trying to get the governor, you know, the governor's given us permission to look at this, you know, highly encrypted computer, and we have access to it, but we can't slice into it. So that's what we're trying to do here. There's an extra layer to this There's an extra layer to this plot that's being peeled away. And while she's thinking about it, while she brings Ghent there to collect her money, she thinks, you know what? And the governor's right with them too, because he's allowing them to slice in. She realizes that, oh wait, the governor's in on this too. You know, he knows that this guy is a rebel. He just wants to make, he sees the winds changing. He sees the Empire falling. So what he's doing, he's decided to sell this highly encrypted computer to the rebellion in order to get a lot of money so that he can retire rich and go to some planet. And then she's thinking, wait a minute, whoever uncrypts this, they're definitely going to shoot and kill. And so now she's trying to figure out a way to get Ghent and her out of this situation alive, because she's losing her force ability. And they say that at the beginning of the book, or the short story. And anyway, they do escape for a little while, but Marcos catches up to them, as does the governor. She kills the governor because he's a traitor to the Empire. You know, this is Mara Jade doing her due diligence as a hand of the Emperor to kill any traitors still. And eventually, I guess Marcos, it's plans to Star Destroyer specs or codes or something very important. And that's where Mara Jade puts all the pieces together, like, oh, they're going to kill us after we solve this, you know, slice open all this information. And anyway, it ends up where they both get to walk away. Mara believes that she doesn't like the fact that the Rebel Alliance is getting, got her help, got her and Gint's help, because she didn't like the Rebel Alliance, because Luke Skywalker, who she hates the most, is with the Rebel Alliance. Well, this is also written by Timothy Zahn, and it is in stark contrast to how Mara Jade felt when she was working with Crix Madine and giving him tons of money, giving him tons of support, So, again, Timothy Zahn just forgot. He just wanted to put Mara Jade at the center of all of his stories because fans love Mara Jade stories. At the end of this, Mara Jade leaves Gint and says, maybe we'll see each other sometime. I don't know why Timothy Zahn thought it was necessary to have Mara Jade meet Gint before they both went to work for Card. I don't understand that. It makes zero sense. Zero sense. It could have been just a Gint story and it'd have been fine. Anyway, Talon, walks up to Gint at the end of the story, offers him a job. And then Gint goes, okay, what about that other lady? He said, I don't know. She kind of got away before I could ask her. Maybe one day she'll work with us too. Jeez. To frag. It is not like, again, what's the point? What's the point of having Mara Jade meet Gint before they both went to work for Card? I don't know. She didn't need to be in it. Could have been a Gint story and been a lot better. But I digress. The next one is from Star Wars Gamer number 2. It is called A Credit for Your Thoughts. This one takes place on planet Sakura, where someone named Finn is dealing information with Talon Card for a short while. This is not written by Timothy Zahn. And then he moves on to deal with someone else with information sharing called Dodger. And in it, they have to fight off a Gran, and so they fight a Gran. And Dodger goes, hey, there's some kind of information on this planet that they can make them both rich, but Finn has the ship. So they make another deal and to use his ship so that he can tell them where they're going and they can both make money and split it 60-40 or whatever. It's okay. It's basically just a story to, pad the pages of a Star Wars gamer, sadly. Nothing special to this at all, unless you're like, oh, Talon Card's in here. But that story goes nowhere, and that's like the first half of the story, because obviously the author just needed to fill pages. But either way, both of these stories, I wouldn't worry about having to track down to get. Even if you're a Gint fan, he doesn't really do much of the talking here. It's mainly centered around Mara Jade. So neither one of these stories are a must-have. All right, folks, that's it for now. See you next time.